Alright, what's up everyone? Happy Monday. Happy, what is it? The 18th of March, 2023. I believe it's, hold on, let me make sure that's the right date. Oh, sorry, I'm way off. Happy 20th of March, 2023. Oh yes, that's going to be another day on the Grace Attorney Chronicles on the Resolve game. We're going to do episode 2. Episode 2 of Resolve. Let us continue. Oh yeah, we'll start. Yes.
It was a ghastly tale of a winter's night. One of an invisible killer and a crime perpetrated on the pavement along Briar Road. As the victim lay at death's door, the mystery of just who had stabbed the young lady from behind had been resolved. But no sooner had my friend saved that Eastern Exchange student from his harrowing plight, then in the dim, flickering shadows of gaslight did a second bizarre crime rend the stillness of that very night. I dare say most can still recall the sensational headlines of the day. Haunted apartment of death, the condemned criminal's curse, the dread demon of coal gas. Yet, though the great detective had at once discerned the truth upon his arrival at the scene, it only proved to be the overture that announced the rising of the curtain on a most tragic play.
Alright, time for some dialogue. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I am a fledgling lawyer, just starting out on my journey. 6 months ago, I arrived as a visiting student of law, having made the long voyage across the sea from the Empire of Japan to here, London, England. And on the way, in quite extraordinary circumstances, I made the acquaintance of a famous detective. Currently, I reside in the attic of the detective's own lodgings, from where I run my legal courtesies of sorts. I successfully defended a number of clients in Britain's highest court, the Old Bailey. But since in particularly grueling and unforgivable legal battles 4 months ago now, I haven't returned to the courtroom. In truth, I lost my right to return. But that epic trial was just one small part of an epic tale. A tale which was now about to awaken from slumber, thanks to the letter that arrived this morning from my homeland. Oh man. What a delicious smell wafting up the stairs. It must be nearly time for breakfast. I better go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite and say good morning to the great detective and his flatmate. Ah, Runo. Good. I was about to call up to you. The bacon's ready. Good morning, Iris. It smells delicious as usual. Before we eat, though, I have some news. Shh, not a word, Mr. Naruhodo. This could be just a trust thing for my pre-breakfast stagnation. Repellent mental stimulations, my dear fellow. Morning to you too, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes. I see. So that's it. Why is he looking at me like that? So weird. The truth is as clear as me as day. My faculties of observations has revealed it again. That was weird. What are you talking about? You, Mr. Naruhodo, you have, this very morning, met with a surprise. Well, is that not the case? Really, my dear fellow, it barely warrants explanation. Firstly, your hair is particularly upkept, somewhat reminiscent of a bird's nest. Secondly, you have neglected to fasten the third button of your jacket. Clearly, when considered together, these two facts points to you having been flustered this morning. Can I talk now? But of course! Though I don't look for admiration, you understand. My hair always looks like this. It's been this way since I first met you. Oh, it has. And the button was ripped off last night, if you remember. By you. Hurley pulled your button off? Ah, yes, I recall that incident now. It was after supper, was it now? As the evening advanced, I picked up my violin and began to play the wailing notes of a haunting tune. But then, to my utter dismay, the third string snapped. Why did it have to happen? Why? Little wonder then that in my vexations, I grabbed the first button I saw and ripped it from the proper place. Well, I like it back now, please. It's troubling me now I can't fasten my jacket. And it's troubling me that you expect me to know where it is. Somewhere thereabouts on the floor, one presumes. Helpful. What matters at the present time, my dear fellow, is simply whether or not my deduction was unerring. But Hurley, Bruno said it when he came in, didn't he? I had a surprise this morning. This guy. Well, that really is a surprise. Yes, this man is the pride of the British Empire, the famous consultant detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. There can't be a single person in the world who doesn't know his name. Alright then, enough of the silly conversation. Come and eat the bacon before it gets cold. And I have a new herbal tea for you to try. My latest special blend. And here we have Iris Wilson, Mr. Sholmes' lodger and companion. A truly exceptional young girl who's the author of a highly successful serialization here in London. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, as published in Rand's magazine. So, Mr. Naruhodo, won't you put us out of our misery? Why surprise you this fine morning? Huh, well, I received a letter from Japan. Oh, from Susie you mean. Was it, really? That's right, and she has some rather startling news in fact. Ah, intriguing indeed. You must tell us about it over breakfast. Oh yes, what fun. I'm just looking around. Ah yes, this is where your note-bound ideas, isn't it, Iris? What's in the melting pot today? The blue carbuncle. Yes, it's from a case of theft that Hurley solved ages ago. The theft of a precious stone. Our carbuncle is another name for a garnet, you see. Especially if it's cut with a round top. Oh, really? And this garnet was blue, was it? Well, that's the thing. They're usually red. No blue garment has ever been discovered. Oh. So who knows what the stolen gemstone actually was? That was the real mystery of the case. A proper Sherlock Holmes conundrum, huh? The office spade. Now that Susato-san's gone, the shovelers aren't represented to correct me. Maybe I'll have it to myself. That's not a spade, Naruto. It's a shovel. Tell me everything, Runo. Don't worry, there's plenty to eat. We'll do. This is the letter that arrived from Japan this morning by International Post. Oh, how lovely. Look at Susie's beautiful writing. I wish I could read it. And how is your judicial assistant faring, may I ask? She's very well, thank you. In fact, according to what she's written, she's actually appeared as a lawyer at the Japanese Supreme Court and won a case. Oh, really? Oh, isn't she wonderful? A cut above your good self, my dear fellow. I won cases too, you know. Apparently, Miss Natsume appeared in the trial as a witness. Natsume. No, I don't recall that name. Of course you do. We helped the man twice. You know, in those two cases that took places on Briar Road 6 months ago? Ah! The mustache! Twitchy man with somewhat feline eyes and mustache. He didn't have two mustaches, Hurley. Yes, who will forget those two cases? They made a very deep impression on me. Although I must confess, the details are a little hazy now. A very deep impression they made on you, clearly. So, what was that startling news pinned on Miss Sasato? Do you remember the case of the haunted lounges, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes, it's very interesting, you know. I don't feel entirely uncertain that a case of that nature did not occur. He's totally forgotten then. Anyways, in her letter, Miss Sasato asked that we read over her case notes again and investigate it further. Though it took place half a year ago, for what purposes? Because of something that Mr. Natsume said to her, apparently. He suggested that the real reason why she was called back to Japan was so suddenly might have something to do with the case of the haunted lounges. Oh. On Mr. Natsume's return to Japan, Miss Sasato fathers questioned him about the case, she says. And something Mr. Natsume said appeared to trouble Professor Mikotoba, prompted him to send that telegram. Oh, that case, yes. It was very strange, wasn't it? Yes. And I had compiled the whole story with a nice, neat manuscript ready for publication too. But then Hurley here was all funny about it, remember? He was very mean. That story must be published, you said. Very mysteriously as well. Really? I said that? Are you sure? Do you perhaps know something about it as well, Mr. Sholmes? About why Miss Sasato was suddenly told 4 months ago that she had to return to Japan? It's been 4 months now since we waved Susie off at Dover. It was such a shock, wasn't it? The way she just suddenly announced that she had to go back to Japan. Indeed it was, due to a telegram she received from her homeland, I believe. That's right, telling her to return urgently. Yes, because her father had passed away. No, it just said he was suffering from a high fever, the cause of which was unknown. He's not dead. But according to the letter, That news about her father's fever was just a ruse. A ruse? So Susie's dad lied to her so that she could make the voyage back home? Why would he do that? I have to admit, I have absolutely no idea. But she believes it's almost certainly related to the case of the haunted lounges. Summoning her back to Japan so suddenly like that. I wonder what Miss Susato's father is hiding. Hurley, do you know what's it all about? Who could say? What? But you said... Please, I have engagements, my dear fellow. My calendar is quite surprisingly full today. An stringent analysis of the matter would be excessive, I feel, even if I were quite at leisure. So, man the fort in my absence, won't you, Iris? I will, Hurley, don't worry. See you later. He scuttled off rather quickly there. I think perhaps Professor Mikotoba isn't the only person hiding something here. Sosoki-san was involved in 2 cases, but only one of them was forbidden from being published. By of all people, Mr. Sholmes. Aha! I found them at last. Iris, are they... The notes about the cases. That's right. Susie and I compiled them together. The case of the haunted lounges. Do you want to read them, Bruno? Absolutely, thank you. Thank you, Iris. I have no idea what secrets could still be hiding in the shadow of this case. But perhaps if I read over the notes again, something might come to light. That's the spirit! Alright. And so, Iris and I decided to read over the case notes again together. Everything from what happened to our investigations at that fierce battle in court that followed. Relive in every detail. I just need to find a clue. And I have all the time in the world. Because of course, I'm no longer allowed to practice law in the courts of Great Britain. It was 6 months ago, a mysterious incident that unfolded on the wintry streets of London. A young woman was found lying on the snowy pavement on Briar Road with a knife in her back. Fortunately, her life was spared, but she was unconscious for several days following the incident. The fog was thick and nobody saw her attack her, but by a cruel twist of fate, a visiting Japanese student was walking behind her at the time, and the duly was arrested. That man was Soseki-san, and the man who effected his arrest was Mr. Sholmes. Believing in our compatriot's innocence, Susato-san and I decided to represent Soseki-san in court. And after a grueling trial of many twists and turns, we finally managed to prove his innocence. Since this is a flashback, I'm just going to skip some of this. We received a telegram from Mr. Sholmes the following morning. The victim of the Briar Road stabbing has regained consciousness. Hurry to Barks as one. So Susato and I summoned a hansom and headed immediately to the hospital. There you are at last. Good morning, Mr. Sholmes. I think not. Oh? You're late. What on earth took you so long? Your telegram has arrived at 5 o'clock, Mr. Sholmes, and it's 20 minutes ride to the hospital. That's right, and it's 5:30 now. I think we made a very good time. That time is utterly irrelevant. That fact is, I have been waiting for what has been feeling like an eternity. In point of fact, I myself has awoken at 4 this morning by a telegram boy, and feeling it was somewhat unjust that I alone has been aroused at such an hour, I sent one to you. Well, thanks for that. Anyways, you're here now, so the victim is over there. She only regained consciousness. You should introduce yourselves, and I shall observe from here. So that's the lady who was found on the snow-covered pavement with the knife on her back. Her name is... Ah, yes, here we are. Miss Green. I guess we'll talk to her, right? Alright, let's chat with her. Good morning. Hello, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Oh no, was it your knife that... Are you the man who... No, I'm a lawyer. And I'm Susato Mikotoba. Pleased to meet you. Oh no, was it your knife then? Are you the one? No, I assure you, I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. We heard that you regained consciousness, and I wanted to give you your best wishes. Best wishes? For me? Thank you. I'm Olive Green. Hey Luna, how you doing? Happy Monday. I'm an artist. Well, no, that's not right, is it? What I mean is, I'm trying to be an artist. Well, what I really mean is, I'm desperately want to be an artist. But the truth is, I don't have any talent. I know I don't. It's no wonder I was stabbed in the back. I don't think that's related, actually. Gosh, this young woman seems to be bent over backwards to put herself down. Seeing as we're here, we should ask her about what happened after her perspectives, I suppose. Alright, let's ask her. To suddenly be struck in the back by a blade as you were walking along the pavement. What a terrible experience you had, Miss Green. It was so cold that day, and the fog was so thick, I couldn't see a thing. That was 4 days ago, I think. Is that right? Yes, that's right. I'm afraid you've been comatose for all that time. But the case has been solved, hasn't it? While I've been here in the hospital, I mean. Indeed it was! My dear madam, spectacularly by none other than I, Herlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, as you well know, it was Mr. Naruhodo's hard work in court that solved that case. Are you yet to hear what happened, Miss Green? Yes, I'm afraid so. A gentleman from the police force is supposed to be coming to fill me in shortly. Oh, I see. Me coming round seems to have made everyone frantically busy. I'm so sorry, I should never have regained consciousness. It was selfish of me. Oh no! We are so relieved that you're on the mend, Miss Green. We really are. With that kind of attitude, maybe her surname should be Blue, not Green. So, you're an artist, are you, Miss Green? Oh no, I couldn't possibly claim that. I'm a fledgling artist at best. I mean, I'm a student of art, really, at the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. Oh my, Academy of Fine Arts. Great Britain is such a wonderful country. Tell me, Miss Green, do you live hereabouts? Oh no, actually. I don't deserve it, but I have a little flex on Brixton Row. I see. How very interesting. Oh no, is it? Brixton is 10 steps away on underground from here. And Thorndyke Academy is a mere 3 minutes walk from Brixton Town Center. Does that matter, Mr. Sholmes? Perhaps not, but Briar Row is far less part of a town by comparison, dwelt in those inferior means, including the maleficent Mr. Mustache. Inferior means? I suppose Sosoki-san does fit that bill. It struck me as somewhat out of the ordinary for a young fine arts student to be walking in such a district. That's all. What's this? She's clammed up. Mr. Sholmes, you should be ashamed of yourself prying into a young maiden's private affairs. Ah ha ha ha! Oh dear me, do forgive me. If you don't mind, I'm being discharged shortly, so I need to pack up my things. Oh yes, of course, we won't keep you. Thank you so much, Miss Green. Okay, I guess we're done with her. Let's see, what else can we do? What else do we have? I mean, we have that mouse. Hey! A mouse! Mr. Naruhodo, an enormous mouse! Vermin in the hospital? That doesn't seem the best. But it looks like a healthy specimen, doesn't it? It's very plump. I'm not sure we could say that's down the excellence of this facility. Is that what you're thinking? Let's see, what else can we look at? What's this? The rounded wooden figure isn't the most charming, is it? I don't think that's a decoration, Mr. Naruto. It's an artist's mannequin, I believe. Used when practicing sketching the human form in different poses. Really? It's not exactly what you call a typical figure for that purpose, though, is it? No, I suppose not. I confess I've never seen one quite full figure before. Well, if you want to draw a full figure person, it's the right tool for the job. Alright, is that everything? What about this right here? Look, there's a photo! Ah, yes, it's a picture of a young gentleman. He looks to be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, do you think? My, Mr. Naruhodo, I didn't know you had a sense of matter of the heart. Not at least. I sincerely said the first thing I thought of. Is that everything here? Oh, shit. Is there Mr. Narrowfonder here? Mr. Narrowfondier? Narrowfonder now. Well, if you're looking for Naruhodo, the lawyer, that's me, but... Ah, Mr. Narrowfather. Good. This is for you. It's a message from Mr. Saucy Nutsume. What? Mr. Natsume. Natsume sent a message to me. But why would a policeman be delivering a message from Mr. Natsume? Exactly. What's going on? What's a Scotland Yard constable doing playing a delivery boy at this time in the morning? Ah, what are you waiting for? Let me see that. Oh. Well, this is most unexpected. Is something wrong, Mr. Sholmes? Is something wrong, Mr. Shore, he says. Have you not seen this note? No, how can I have? It would seem that London's criminals have no intentions of letting that great detective rest. A new case calls. A case of murder, no less. We must depart at once. You're working on something in Photoshop? Ooh, cool. Okay, no worries, Lula. Do your thing. Murder? Call a cab. Time is on this. Time is at the essence. But the trouble is we yet to read Mr. Natsume's note. I was thinking we ought to pay him a visit for his laundry once we did. That would be entirely convenient. Convenient? What do you mean? It's all here in the note, my dear fellows. The murder we must investigate took place at Mr. Mustache Lounge's. Wait, what? I hail a factor at once. It was only yesterday that Sasuke was in court, and we were dispelling doubts about his innocence. And now, the very next day, there was a murder at the man's own address. He may very well be the unluckiest man alive. Or so it seemed to be us at the time, but we were soon to discover it was worse than we thought. Oh! What on earth? Oh my, the gentleman is deceased without question. He's dead. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Mr. Natsume. Oh, why? Why is this happening? Why to me? I only just got one out of court. Yesterday, I was finally home after 2 days of misery. And then I wake up the next day to this. No early bird should catch a worm like this. One for a worm without wiggles! I see you're in high spirits again this morning, Mr. Mustache. Not the horrible Herlock Sholmes. Shoo! Shove off! Show yourself the door! I never invited you! Mr. Sholmes came here with us. I'm quite sure he'll be able to help you, Mr. Natsume. I am entirely at your disposal, Mr. Mustache. What can I do you for? Here they are already. The busybodies. Ah, Inspector Gregson. What a pleasant surprise. Pleasant, is it? Give me heartburn every time I see your face at the crime scene, Sholmes. Ha! I deduce, Inspector, that your heartburn is a result of your excessive consumption of fried food. Good morning, Inspector. This is a crime scene. Don't go touching things, okay? Oh, good morning to you too, Sunshine. I guess we're examining? Okay. Alright, so Inspector, what was the victim's name? Who was he? Mr. William Shakespeare. He was a lodger here. As you probably could tell, he was an actor. A bit of a dead loss, as it happens, or just dead. Mr. Shakespeare. It was the landlord, old Mr. Garadeb, and the other lodger, Mr. Natsume, who found him. The fellow didn't rise at his usual hour, so Mr. Garadeb got worried and kicked the door down. But doesn't Mr. Garadeb have a bad leg? Huh, yeah, you're right there. It was the jittery Japanese hunchback over there who actually did the kicking. Really? Soki-san? The victim was pretty hard up, and it seems even done sometimes inside the petty crimes. He had no money, so no place to go, and no friends. His only acquaintance were the people in his house. Miserable life and a miserable end to it. So what exactly is Mr. Natsume still doing here? He's not involved in this investigation, so shouldn't you have sent him away from the crime scene? Well, I'm not saying it's because that fellow looks odd or anything. Or he acts suspicious. But I thought it wouldn't be prudent to take a statement from the cohabitor. You nearly said culprit there, didn't you? Oh dear. Mr. Natsume appears to be under suspicion again. It certainly seems that way. He just came across such an odd fellow, doesn't he? Poor man, how unfortunate. Anyways, I could say much until the coroner gets here. But I don't think the fella's been a goner that long. That body's still warm. Even if the inspector would allow it, I don't think I could bring myself up to touch the body. Okay. What a terrible thing to have happened. It's only been 3 days since I was arrested for the incident of the pavement outside. And then, having finally regained my freedom, it starts happening all over again. Endless existence of excruciations experience. So, the victim lived here on the ground floor, and your room is just one story up, isn't it? Yes, that's right. In a way, we were neighbors, I suppose. So did you know the victim? Were you friends? What's the matter with Soseki-san now? It was an innocent enough question, wasn't it? Why does he seem so shaken by it? Well, I suppose he wasn't completely a stranger. But did he ever invite me to his room? Never! On my honor, I swear it. What an extreme reaction. You're probably wishing you never asked him, aren't you, Mr. Naruto? When we found him here, I felt wretched, which is why I sent word asking you to come. Through that inspector over there. Oh, he's right there, I see him. I see Herlock Sholmes. Are we gonna do a deduction? I think we are. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing there? You need only observe to know it, my dear fellow. Investigating, naturally. There's nothing natural about that pose. Mr. Sholmes, have you made some miraculous discovery? Patience, my dear madam, patience. We've not been here in this room for 5 minutes. So far, all I managed to deduce is what actually happened. My goodness. But isn't that everything we need to know, Mr. Sholmes? Now that you propose the idea, I believe one could indeed see it that way. At the present time, I have managed to draw 2 uncontrovertible conclusions. The first. Yep, we're doing it. We're doing the thing. We're doing the thing. Oh my gosh. Let me drink some water. We're doing the thing. We're gonna do the mini game. I like this mini game. Alright. The first. That was a physical struggle here last night in which the victim fought for his life. Mr. Natsume, what's wrong? Is something that Mr. Sholmes said significant somehow? No, don't mind me. Forget why I was here. And my second conclusion is that there was some poison lingering in the air here last night that passed the victim's lips. Nonsense! Alright, Mr. Natsume, why are you reacting so extremely to Mr. Sholmes' deductions? No, please, pretend I'm not here. Invisible, infallible, inscrutable, insignificant. Impossible to ignore. You must tell us everything, Mr. Sholmes. Spare no detail. But of course, let the theatrical tragedy before us be unraveled by my great deductions, presented for your pleasures in 2 acts. We heard some truly outstanding great deductions from Mr. Sholmes in the past. No doubt this will be no exception. What miracles will unfold before our eyes this time? So, my dear fellows, for your delight in wonders, let the curtain rise. For Sherlock Sholmes, Logic and Reasoning Spectacular, Act 1. We're gonna do the thing. Alright. I knew it. We're doing the thing. Alright. The cause of death. Careful observation of the victim reveals us of the events that transpires to the disconnected room last night. Foam at the mouth at the disease clearly indicates the use of poison. Next to the victim, we notice a large dining plate which contains, you will observe, 1/2 of a sizable bar of soap. Meaningful, indubitably. Why is there soap set so purposely upon the dish, like the victim's last supper? In fact, yes. Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the fork reveals the answer. It appears that the young man's appetite was his undoing. Taking up arms in the form of his cutlery, the victim engaged in a deadly battle for his life. Yet the struggle against his hunger was in vain. For it to end, he couldn't resist devouring the slippery feast. But London's foul soap is besmirched by foul poison. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the contents of the plate. We gotta look around. The soap and the ladder about the young man's mouth are too perfectly matched to ignore. Alright, we gotta see what it's wrong. It's obviously wrong. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to excessive ingestion of foul soap. Though personally, I have a greater interest of the taste of foul candle wax, of course. That's definitely wrong, but whatever. From soap ingestion. No, it's not. Okay, suicide or murder. The cause of death identified. We proceed to Act 2, where we ponder the next question. Was this suicide or murder? The audience will recall that death occurred during the victim's last supper. Did the man die and die alone? The single teacup suggests the answer. To draw a conclusion of such meager evidence would be foolish, and however, certainly. The careful criminal could have obscured with his own cup to cover his tracks. Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the broken lock. Though forced open now, at the time of the incident, this door was locked. And the sole key was in the victim's pocket. In other words, when the victim consumed the poison, he must have been alone. Alone with his inferior soap, from which wafted his inferior scent. And with that acrid aroma lingering in the air, the victim met his end in tragic solitude. We could take comfort only in the fact of his soul was cleansed on his way to the hereafter. Thus concludes the final act of Sherlock Sholmes' great deductions. That's definitely wrong. Yes, I really like it. This is the second game in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. There's just one thing, Mr. Sholmes. You are disposed to identifying just one thing, aren't you, Mr. Naruto? Pray, what concerns you? Well, no matter how hungry he was, do you really think the man has eaten soap? It is quite apparent that this man has barely a penny to his name. It is a curious thing, but to one destitute, soap can suddenly appear quite irresistibly appetizing. How extraordinary. In truth, I have tried a little soap myself in the past. You eaten it, you mean? My dear fellow, it was some time ago now. My postulations was that it could cleanse my gut. And did it? As I writhed in agony on the floor and split contents on my stomach, yes, I believe it did. The experience taught me a valuable lesson. Soap is quite poisonous. It has an unpleasant taste and led to great discomfort. In summary, I cannot recommend it. Believe me, I wouldn't eat it even if you did. There's something that troubles me as well, actually. Yeah, because she knows he's wrong. What's that? It's Mr. Natsume. I couldn't help noticing him shuddering, quivering out in the corner of my eye. Almost as Mr. Sholmes' deductions touched the nerve somehow. Never! Nonsense! Well, that clenched teeth episode didn't last. I think, judging by Mr. Natsume's reaction, the great detective's deduction may need some gentle corrections in order to reach the truth. Yes. Yes, Mr. Sholmes' observation and deductions are sometimes a little bit too sharp. He has a tendency to hit the nail on the side of the head and drive it to an absurd angle, which he does that, and it fails us to straighten things out. Alright, let's see what we can do. Yes, we must pick out the keywords in Mr. Sholmes' quite brilliant deductions, and discreetly exchange them for something that makes a little more sense. We could do that. I'm sure we'll arrive at what Mr. Sholmes meant to say in the first place. In that case, are you ready for the second performance of the day? Once again, my dear fellows, for your continued delight and wonder, let the curtain rise for Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular Act 1. And here we go again. Here we go again. Let me all drink some. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes, hold it! Careful observation of the victim reveals to us the events that transpires in this discolate room, like last night. Foam at the mouth of the deceased clearly indicates the use of poison. Next to the victim, we notice a large dining plate, which contains, you will observe, 1/2 of a sizable bar of soap, meaningful indubitably. Why is the soap set so purposely upon the dish, like the victim's last supper? In fact, yes. Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the fork reveals the answer. Well, you can't deny that a fork implies that the man was eating something, or about to eat something. Yes, that's true. If I were to decide to eat some soap, I should prefer to use a fork than to attempt it with chopsticks. And of course, only half of the bar of the soap is left on the plate. But might there be some other explanation? Something material that proves whether or not the man ate the soap. I guess we have to look around. Yeah, we have to look around. Wait, there's something there. Other piece of soap. Look, there's more soap on the floor here. Mr. Shakespeare must have really loved this stuff. Let's not jump to the conclusion, Mr. Naruto. Look closely at this soap. Do you see that it will fit together perfectly with the half of the table? What the? How can that be? I think that they are two halves of the same soap that broke apart. I guess we should present it, right?
Take that!
Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the other piece of soap reveals the answer. It being the other half of the soap on the table. In short, the victim was not eating soap at all. But it's obvious, really, but no death of hunger could drive any man to eat soap. Even I, with my unquenchable thirst for practical knowledge, took only a single bite. But that begs the question of how this man was poisoned, because there's no sign of any food on the table. An excellent observation, Mr. Naruhodo, and one that furnishes us with the answer we seek. For London's foul soap to be smirched by foul poison. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the contents of the plate. Mr. Showman's still pushing the soap argument now. Perhaps he suggests the man lick the soap rather than eat it. Excuse me. If soap in London is that poisonous, I don't think I want to be washing my hands with it. But there are no signs of any food in this room at all. Of course, food isn't the only thing that passes through lips, is it? Maybe the teacup? Or what's this right here? Contents of the... What's this here?
Take that!
Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the teacup. Indeed, cups have been the vessels of choice for practicing poisoners over the centuries. And it will appear that this victim drank every last drop. There's no sign of food anywhere in this room, which leads us in the immutable conclusion. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to the ingestion of poison contained in this teacup. Poison in the teacup. The cause of death identified, we proceed to Act 2, where we ponder the next question. Was this suicide or murder? The audience will recall the death occurred during the victim's last supper. Did the man dine and die alone? The single teacup suggests the answers. Okay, we're doing this again? As the Western vessel was infused with hot drinks again, it already featured heavily in our deduction so far. Yes, we could imagine that shortly before his death, Mr. Shakespeare was having a drink or tea. There would be nothing remarkable about that, but what troubles me is Mr. Natsume's reaction when he heard Mr. Shon suggest it. There's more to this deduction than it seems. We must closely examine the scene of the crime again for some more clues.
Take that!
Did the man dine and die alone? The other teacup suggests the answer. Yes, there were two teacups in this room alone. In other words, this is a strong indication that the victim's last supper, there was a guest present. At the very least, we could say now that this is certainly that somebody else was here in this room last night, talking tea with the victim. What are you talking about? Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable. To draw a conclusion on such mere evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. In which case, what more can we deduce about this possible guest at the table? Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Do you mean to say you know who exactly was in the room at the time of the victim's death? Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the broken lock. I'm not sure I like where this deduction is going now. I'm afraid it's too late to go back to the Helicon days of eating too much soap But the identity of this guest who was here last night when the victim passed away is something I have a bad feeling about. Well, you can't try to ignore your feelings, but we cannot ignore the truth, Mr. Naruto. No, I suppose not. Trying to look back again. At first glance, it seems that the only thing in this room in the makeshift stage are in the costumes. I overlooked these 3 books initially. I wonder what they are. Let's see. The title reads, The Picture of Monsieur Lecoq, Canterbury Yearnings, and A Meal for Gaboro. Wait, I'm sure I heard those titles before. It could just be an incredible coincidence, but they're the exact same 3 books that Mr. Natsume purchased the other day. What? Yes, on the day of the unfortunate incident when Miss Green was stabbed. Sasuke-san has been to a bookshop and bought them, that's right. And now these 3 titles are here in the room of the victim. Yet Mr. Natsume claims to have been here before. What does this mean? Do you think... I really don't know what to make of it. Oh boy, this is not gonna go good. Oh boy, this is not gonna go well.
Take that!
Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the power of familiar books. Quite so, it's no mere coincidence that these 3 titles are here in the room. It's linked to the truth. Mr. Natsume, you purchased these books 4 days ago at the second-hand bookshop. That's just a coincidence. In that case, you would be able to bring the same 3 books from your own room, would you not? This very moment. No, never. No, non-negotiable. If you can't bring your own copies here, it proves that these books are in fact yours. Having purchased the books 4 days ago and returned to your lounges, you were arrested the very next day. So you could conceivably have brought the books here on that evening, but you never mentioned that. In other words, you could only have brought these 3 books from here to the victim's room. These poses. Last night, having returned to your lounges after the trial concluded at the Old Bailey. In short, there is only one possible conclusion. The victim died here in the room last night as a result of poisoning. And that same night, the victim had a visitor. And that visitor was you, Mr. Sasuke Natsume. Thus concludes the final act of Hurler Shone's Great Deduction. So stupid. Deduction complete. Elementary! Not again! Not again! Not again! Not again! Well then, Mr. Natsume. It would appear you're gonna have to accompany me down to the yard again. But wait! Hold your horses! Yes? Door, key, locked, entry, exit, entirely impossible. He's so flustered, he's being even stranger than normal. What? You think that's an alibi? You could just made a copy. What? You live in the same building after all. You have had plenty of opportunities, I'm sure. But... Misery, me! Sorry, sir. You'll get your chance to give your side of the story later. The facts speaks for themselves, Mr. Mustache. Ugh! You horrible Herlock Sholmes. He really has found himself an arch rival now, hasn't he? Come on now, no dilly-dallying. Outside, there's a carriage waiting. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo. I never imagined I'll be in this position again, but... You have to help me, please! Please! I'm innocent! Alright, I understand. We'll come to your cell later and talk about it. And one more thing. Oh, yes. My poor little kitty cat. Please give him breakfast for me. Those eyes, I know. And so, his evil curse still apparently is unbroken. Sokisiki-san found himself once again the prime suspect in the case of a murder. Thanks to the incriminating deductions of the great detective. Oh, I didn't mean to press that. My dear fellow, that honor belongs to you. No, that was you. Don't blame it on me, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Well, at least that means Inspector Gregson is no longer here. We could examine the crime scene in more detail now. Yes, that's right. And of course, what? Have you forgotten what the inspector mentioned before? It was that landlord, Mr. Garibid, who discovered Mr. Shakespeare. Ah, Mr. John Garibid, yes. I expect we could find him in his sitting room on the top floor as usual. Right, we must remember to go and talk to him later then. Alright, we're gonna examine him. Let's examine. One of the teacups that Mr. Shakespeare and his guests drank for last night. But don't go drinking from them, Mr. Naruhodo. There's bitter poison inside. I'm not planning to drink any, don't worry. Anyways, the cups are both empty. That's true, so one was Mr. Shakespeare's. And the other must be the cup that Mr. Natsume was drinking from. But Mr. Soseki wasn't poisoned, of course. Perhaps we should take these so we can examine them in more detail later. Okay, we got a pair of teacups. What about the soap? I'm trying to... There. Oh, the poor man. So young to die. Do you suppose it was a very painful death, being poisoned as he was? I don't know. All we could do now is hope that he'll be reborn to a better life. Yes, I suppose you're right. I wonder... Do you think that putting our hands together in the Japanese prayer will help a British soul? Sorry? Oh my gosh. I made sure I had a reference at the ready for such an occasion as this, actually. This book is entitled The Beginner's Guide to Praying for the Departed. The British Way. I'll just reread it now, one moment. There's quite a spine on that book, isn't there? Okay, so we're not gonna do nothing? Fine. What is... Oh! What else is out here? Why is there bricks outside? As we've seen from the outside, the window is completely bricked. Yeah, exactly. A vestige of the former window tax that Britain has to pay. What strange things they used to tax in Great Britain. I mean, making people pay for the number of windows they have in the property is extraordinary. It's heartbreaking to think that the poor have to block up their windows just to avoid an unaffordable tax. Oh, what is it, Mr. Sato? If you look closely, a number of bricks are loose. Oh, I see. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Oh, what is that? More soap? Yes, it looks as though an amateur has broken a few of them. Just here. What is it, Mr. Shakespeare? Who did it? I wonder. Being the lodger rented this room. Look at this, Mr. Naruto. On the outside, there's a little ledge. And there's something on it. What's outside? Wait, I thought we looked at it already. It's so cold outside, you could feel it through the gap. It did snow all last night. It would be cold. But more importantly, what is there on the ledge out there? What are those snow-covered lumps? I don't think they're snow. It's more bars of soap. More bar of soap stewing lined up on the ledge outside the window. I have no idea. But the pair of them look rather charming like that. Still, that's very strange, isn't it? Bars of soap lined up outside the window. I think perhaps we should take one. There are two after all. Oh dear, I suppose we could. Oh, what's this? Look here at this soap. Do you see? In the middle there. There's a patch that's a different color. It's some sort of transparent, but some sort of fancy design, I suppose. Only in Great Britain. It looks like a Hinamaro flag of Japan. Doesn't it? How wonderful. It's probably a very expensive brand. Expensive. Then what's it doing in this ramshackle old room? Exactly. Okay, so we got a bar of soap. What else can we look at? What's this here? What's this? It looks like a part of an envelope, I think. Yes, I think you may be right. Perhaps it was torn off when the letter was opened. Is that significant? Well, it is a little out of place, perhaps, when you look around the room. There's no sign of a letter or the rest of the envelope in the fact, is there? She's right. And yet here we have a torn off end of the envelope. It just strikes me as unusual. I agree, we better take this, just in case. Now what? I don't know what else to look for. Look at these costumes. Somehow they look out of place in this room, with his grim, shady going-ons. This one looks like a king's attire. A king. I always dream of being a king. Oh, I think you'll be more suited as a feudal lord. A daimyo or such like. With a Sean make top knot. Every Japanese man wishes he had a Sean make. Oh, you look wonderful with one, and you already have the sword. Can you imagine what would happen if I walked around the streets of London with a Sean Mog and a sword? Okay, so I guess that's not what I was supposed to look for. I wonder what else. What about this right here? Nothing particular of a note. To note. What's this? And here we have another this large machine. This looks like a meter of some kind. Ah, this is a gas meter, I think. It seems that this is a district resident pays for gas as they use it with coins. Ah, I see. Now you pointed it out. I can see that there's a slot here that looks like they will take a coin. So you mean you put a coin in here? That's right. That will buy you another 2 hours of gas for lighting and heating. So if you were a poor person with no money, you have to sleep in the freezing cold. Yes, or it will be a scatterbrain with no change because you forgot to exchange your money at the bank. Thank goodness there's no meter in our office. Okay. Looks like you're having a good snoop around, eh? Inspector Gregson, back so soon? After I threw that little Japanese fella in the clink, I went and reported this to investigation divisions. In 5 minutes' time, this place will be cordoned off by the yard. Oh, I see. Well, we better be leaving then. Poor Mr. Natsume must be feeling very low being back in the cell again so soon. I'm sure. Oh, something fell. Wait, what? What the heck? We should probably go and... What's wrong? What's wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Out! Out! Brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player. That struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and dares head no more. Now, how soundeth the next part? What the fuck? It is a tale told by an idiot. Well, I'm gonna get comfortable for this. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Indeed! Oh, happy day! What the fuck? And now, wait, what? 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 Wait, what? What? What was that? Did he just drop dead again? Walking Dead? That was weird. The fella isn't dead at all. What was that nonsense he was saying, though? I think... Hey, Punny, what's up, dude? I think, yes, it was from William Shakespeare's Macbeth. I'm still laughing off of that shit. It's from Act 5, Scene 5. Shakespeare. So it was that the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, came back to life. If the man had indeed been poisoned, it transpired that it hadn't killed him. He was taken by emergency carriage to a nearby hospital for treatment. And Inspector Gregson evicted us from the scene of the crime. Whatever that was. So weird. So weird. Anyways, whatever do you think will happen now? I don't know. Good question. What a strange situation for Mr. Natsume. Arrested for murder, but then the victim comes back to life. I think perhaps the victim was never dead in the first place. Yeah, I think so too. It seems very likely that Mr. Shakespeare did consume poison as we deduced. But it was an accident. Attempted suicide or attempted murder? By the way, who's that guy on the left side? In the background. Until the truth has been established, I imagine the police will keep Mr. Natsume in custody. I suppose so. Let's hope it doesn't come to anything more than a night in the cell. Oh, what's this? Yeah, I'm looking at that too. Like, who's that right there? What's that man doing over there? He looks like he's trying to see into Sasuke-san's lounging. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruto? Excuse me, could we have a word? Ah! Okay. Okay, he just left. He just ran off, exactly. I feel sure that I've seen that man somewhere before. Where was it? I do too, but I don't remember. That was so weird. Let's look around. Oh, we have a new location. We got the Garib Dev's rooms in the prison. I have an idea. Ah, yes, this is where you note down ideas, isn't it, Iris? So, what's on the blackboard today? Okay, good thing I checked up on that. Buck up, Bruno. What is this? Oh, I'm just playing around with ideas of the title of next month's installment. Another idea I had was the Barrel Coronet. I'm really torn about which one to use. What do you think, Bruno? Anything but Buck up, Bruno, obviously. I suppose you're right. I tell you what, I'll surprise you with it. You have to wait until next month and see. Ah, so many sleepless nights. Iris? That's incredible concentration, that is. I find it quite remarkable how she could focus on so many different things at once. Perhaps I should try drinking more herbal teas. The blend thirds from the right will be good for you, Bruno. Oh, Iris? This girl is destined for great things, I'm sure. Okay, I think we're done here. What else do we have here? All right. Perhaps we should put this spade away somewhere. That's not a spade, Naruto-san. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging, not for scooping up loose materials. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. Oh, so this is like the step ladder and ladder thing that they have with the Ace Attorney games. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? You're so right, Naruto-san. We mustn't quarrel over such triflings. On reflections then, I think I'll leave the spade where it is. Oh my gosh. Yes, I think that's for the best. Yes, we may need a shovel when we're working in the garden. Sure. Alright. Here we are again, the eccentric landlord's eccentric top floor abode. We're here because Mr. Garib is the one who discovered the incident this morning, don't forget. Ah, you chaps, eh? Yes, good morning, sir. Thank you for your cooperation in court yesterday. It was quite a trial. As much for Mr. Garadib as anyone, really. Came straight back here after all the business at the Bailey yesterday. Didn't expect to wake up to more Bally nonsense this morning. I wonder if you wouldn't mind telling us exactly what happened, Mr. Garadib. Yes, I suppose you'd like to know all about that dead loss of an actor chap in the ground floor room. Those were exactly Inspector Scredson's words, weren't they? Okay. Okay, I guess we just converse with him. Converse. It must have been a real shock for you this morning. I hear that you discovered what had happened. Oh shit. Ah, well, that hopeless actor chap rises at 5 o'clock sharp every morning without fail. But at 5:30 this morning, he still hadn't lit the gas. So I went down on his door, but no Bailey answer. And that's when you broke into his room by kicking down the door. Well, I called on that rum-looking Japanese chap to do the grunt work, of course. Wasn't it a little premature to kick down the door? The man could have just overslept by half an hour. That's very true, Mr. Naruhodo. If 30 minutes oversleeping warrants such behavior, I have to kick down your door every morning. Well, you know, better to be safe than sorry and all that. Is it just me, or is he just trying to avoid our gaze now, all of a sudden? Yeah. Except that it was a sorry situation indeed that you found on that far side of the door. Alright, let's talk about Mr. Shakespeare. The victim's name is Mr. Shakespeare, I believe. Is that right? Yes, William Shakespeare took the ground room 3 months ago now. And how would you describe him? In a word, destitute. Destitute? Well, let's face it, the only redeeming feature of that room is that cheap rent. Anyone wants to live in a place like that is either broke or has he badly screwed loose. So hard to choose which category Soseki will fall into. Mr. Naruhodo, that's a little rude. He was doing research as well. Research? Into what? Shakespeare, of course. Shakespeare. Read a few plays of the old bard myself, you know. Romeo and Hamlet and all that. Yes, William Shakespeare is England's most highly regarded classical playwright and author. He's known as Sao in Japan. As you know, and many of his works has been translated. It seems incredible that Shakespeare was shortened to Sao. Someone that was heavy-handed there. There were lots of costumes in the victim's room, actually, weren't there? Yeah, there was. Of course, Mr. Natsu is a scholar of English literature as well. I imagine he and Shakespeare would have so much in common. Shakespeare interpretations disagreements leads to shocking murder. Let's hope it's not that. Mr. Naruhodo, really, how rude. Alright, let's talk about yesterday's events. After Mr. Natsume's trial yesterday, you came straight back here, I believe, didn't you? Did you notice anything strange between then and this morning? Well, now, must have been about 6 in the evening by the time I got home. Snow was coming down rather heavily as I remember, and it was completely dark already. That failed actor chap was out at the time. Mr. Gary did notice there was no light from his room or something, I suppose. Couldn't summon the energy for anything much, so I just sat in front of the fire up here. And it was after 8 before Shamspear got back, and the chap was up until past 1 in the morning. I'll have you know. Suppose he met his end sometime after that. I was asleep by then, so I'd rather dark in there. Well, thank you. That was very illuminating. Is everything alright, Miss Susato? Well, I was just thinking it's a little strange, that's all. Mr. Garrett, you were up here in your room all evening, if I understood correctly. Not a big fan of stairs, not with the blasted leg. Then, how is it that you seem to know? The precise movements of your tenants on the ground floor, I mean. Well, you can look out the window, no? That's a very good point. Yeah, he must know something. Let's see. I can imagine you could hear noises from the ground floor all the way up here. Does this old man like to spy on... He probably does. I say, I know what you're thinking. It is a bally outrage. I'm an ex-military, don't you know? I don't go around spying on my tenants. Why would I? Then how did you know Mr. Gary did? It's the gas, woman. The gas tells me everything. The gas? Oh yeah, because they pay for the... Yeah. No, it's not speaking gas. It's not a fort. Oh. No, well, I already examined that. It must have been the real shock for you this morning. I hear that you discovered what had happened. Well, wait. I think... It sounds like almost the same dialogue. Knocked on his door with no Billy answer. And that's when you broke into his room by kicking down the door. Well, I called on that rum look. Yeah, I read this already. Yeah, I probably picked the same selection. I'm gonna skip this. Yeah, I read this. Okay, yeah, I didn't put the right one. Okay. What on earth do you mean, sir? How can the gas tell you everything, let alone everything? Well, you're probably aware the gas is supplied to the building by pipes. Yes, I more or less worked that out. Every room in the building is connected by a single pipe to the gas main outside. And the gas company supplies gas to property via the main. Yes, I understand that too. Let me see if I can explain. Let's say I was to light the gas lamps up here. What do you suppose will happen? Well, obviously the room will get brighter. Exactly. But at the same time, the lights in all the other rooms of the house will dim for a moment. What? They're dim. Why? Perhaps it's because when you light up a gas lamp, it briefly uses more gases than usual. And that reduces the amount of gas in the pipe for the other lamps that are connected to it. That might explain why the other lamps dim momentarily, minding it. Yes, of course. Because everything connected to a single supply pipe. Is that supposed to happen though? It sounds rather undesirable. Jolly good point. Fact is, the gas company pipes in these parts are pretty hopeless, long worn out, and barely got any gas in them to start with. Opposite is also true, of course. Extinguish the lamps up here, and they got glow brighter in the rest of the house. Oh, right, I see. So by watching the flickering of the lamps in one room, you could determine what's happening elsewhere. You got it! Of course, because when people come back home in the evening, and before they go to sleep at night, what they're guaranteed to do is either light or put out their lamps in fire. Clever. In point of fact, the room on the ground floor and the one above is slightly different amounts of gas. By watching the lights in here closely, I could work out almost exactly what's going on in the whole house. Gosh, that's fascinating, Mr. Garrett. Absolutely fascinating. Oh well, nothing to it really. And I can't really see what's going to help us with the case either. What I'd like to know is why Mr. Garrett is so interested in what his tenants are up to in the first place. I feel like there's more to it than this idle curiosity. There always is. Well, we're done as much as investigating here as we can, I think. Perhaps we ought to go to the prison and speak with Mr. Yeah, we should. A good idea. Off to the prison. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Natsume, have the police finished questioning you now? Oh, yes? What is he tell me, is he a ghost? Is he here to haunt me? Let me guess, you're talking about Mr. Sholmes? He actually calls himself a great detective, Mr. Natsume, not a ghost. But his diabolical deductions, they're not of this world. They just left me. Ah, curse! I'm cursed, I tell you. Well, that sort of hurts. Credit where credit is due, Mr. Naruhodo. You were heavily involved in the deduction too. Yes, moving on. We have some wonderful news. Oh? The victim that we all thought was dead has come back to life again. Now, in the absolutely worst case, you could only be tried for attempted murder. That's great, isn't it, Mr. Natsume? It's terrible! Oh. I'm stuck in the cell suffering for some silly wrong end of the stick. You did it, didn't you? Confess. You're a killer. Why the mustache? Caustic questions. I'm sorry to hear that. That selfish shyster. Make up your mind. Are you dead or alive? If you were going to come back to life, why bother dying? Wickedy, wishy-washy, William. Well, it seems likely that Mr. Shakespeare was never actually dead in the first place. Ah, yes, that might make sense. And I'm pleased that he's alive, of course. Our lively debate last night was much fun. I'll be sad to think it was our last. Oh! Oops. Mr. Natsume, does this mean that you did see the victim last night? You met with Mr. Shakespeare, didn't you? I'm not saying another word. I demand to have a lawyer present. Well, he is a lawyer. What do you think I am? Please, Mr. Natsume, we need to hear your side of the story. Why am I cursed like this? Okay, I guess we'll converse with him. What happened? Can you tell me exactly what happened last night, Mr. Natsume? There's nothing to tell. But Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, I'm eternally grateful to you for helping me with that cursed case yesterday. The case that saw poor Miss Green hospitalized after she ended up with a knife in her back. It's hard to believe that was only yesterday. After the trial was over, I trudged my weary way back to my lovely lodgings, and that evening at past 9, it must have been I visited Mr. Shakespeare. So you did go to the victim's room then? As we feared, I didn't do anything wrong. I'd never been to his room before. It was the first time. Then what made you decide to go? I bumped into him when I arrived back at home. We got chatting, and it developed into a discussion. But he had to go out, so I bade him farewell. Farewell. That ties in what Mr. Garadeb said, that the victim went out and came back after 8. We met again later that evening, at around 9 or just after, when I took him some nice tea I brewed as a gift. Oh gosh. So it was you who brought the tea. I had clearly been drunk at the scene then. And I suppose you were discussing the works of Shakespeare, weren't you? Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. Romeo and Juliet, who was stronger? It was a delightful debate, I'm sure. Such a stimulating subject, Shakespeare! And the debate became very heated as he slipped poison into Mr. Shakespeare's tea. No, never, not at all! Team Juliet won, that was me. And when I left his room, the flamboyant fellow was fighting fit, I swear it. Okay, next. Mr. Natsume, you often say the same thing about yourself, I noticed. That you have a cursed existence. I'm sure I mentioned this to you before, but I've been here in Great Britain for a year now, and in that time I learned that it's no place for me. It could be very trying to live in a foreign land and adapt to the ways of another culture. There are foreigners everywhere I look, and they all stare at me. They all laugh. That's the impression that I get whenever I go out. It makes me scared to leave my room, which is why I've become a recluse. But even in my room, I found no respite for my fears. I moved more times than I can remember, and then 1 week ago, I moved into Briar Road. Hey zombie, what's up? But why? I mean, why did you choose that place? It doesn't seem very comfortable. Because the rent is cheap. I have so little money, and it spoke to me. The rent? Obviously, there's a reason why it's cheap. Because the room is cursed. Cursed? Cursed? How is it cursed? The previous occupant, the man who lived there before I took the room, died there. Oh no. He was only a young man, but one morning he was found dead and no one explained why. Surely no one would want to live in a room with a history like that. I didn't. When the letting agent recommended the place, I wavered. But I want books, and books cost money. A horrible history is a small price to pay. When I realized it would mean I could buy more books, I signed the lease like lightning. Brave or blinkered. But after I moved in, I soon came to realize what I'd done. I realized how horrible that room's history really was. Gosh, was it really so awful? Horrible history, okay. How did the room horrible history affect you, Mr. Natsume? What happened? At first, it was just a feeling. The feeling of beady eyes boring into my back, watching me. Do you think that might just have been your mind playing tricks on you? No, my mind doesn't know any tricks. It was someone else. It's been one long nightmare ever since I got given the keys to the place. A nightmare? You've been having bad dreams, you mean? All the souls who died in that room, I leaned over me in my sleep and tried to strangle me. That really is horrible. And now I come to think of it, it happened again last night too. The very same night that Mr. Shakespeare was writhing in agony from the poison in his body. I was on the verge of being suffocated silently by those miserable spirits in my room. You simply must move out of that room as soon as possible. Yes, you're right, I know it. And that's why I'm already searching for the next room with a history to call home. I think perhaps you should try to avoid accommodations with any kind of history at all. Otherwise, I'm scared that you yourself might become history. So Salo knows how to make the man listen. He's trembling right now. Of course, Mr. Lord of the Manor is worried about the curse on my room as well. You mean Mr. Garrideb? Yes, he knows that if people keep dying there, he'll never be able to rent it out again. Well, that's true. I, for one, would never go near that place. Ah, perhaps. That may explain why the landlord pays so much attention to the gas lamps and his tenants' movements. You mean because he's worried about their well-being? He does seem to have an unusual, keen interest in the amount of gas in the pipes. There must be a reason why he keeps such close tabs on the occupants in his let rooms. What do you mean he pays so much attention to the gas? Oh dear, no! It would be so cool if I could make a 3D printer of Catalina's. Yeah! That would be cool, Zombie. Yeah, definitely. Oh, now you're talking about me behind my back as well. What's important is that Mr. Shakespeare isn't in fact dead at all. Once he comes around and he's able to tell us what happened, we'll be able to get you released. I think most time 3D printers is something that I mean, I don't know much about 3D printers, but I know they're big. And I guess that's how you make like certain figures or statues and stuff like that. But I don't know much about it though. Excuse me. Inspector Gregson. I couldn't help overhearing what you just said. On that note. Oh, I wouldn't know about locations, no. I just hear that people buy them. They're really expensive, and big. They're really big too. I have some good news and some bad news. Oh? Which you want first? I don't think it matters. Always, every time. The bad news comes first. When hope is all you have, hold on to it. That's my guiding principle. Right, well, in that case, the good news is... Huh? Sorry, but it's just a lot easier to explain everything that way. Then why did you ask me for my preference? As you might have heard, the victim, Mr. Shakespeare, was unconscious. He comes around right now. Yes, we saw it happen. It was terrifying. He's still being treated by the doctors, but we managed to get a written statement from him already. Oh, isn't that wonderful, Mr. Natsume? Oh, thank goodness. It's all over then. I could leave this sombre cell. Sorry, no. That's not on the cards. What? Why ever not, Inspector? Mr. Shakespeare has implicated someone as being responsible for what happened last night. Implicated someone? Oh dear. You don't mean... I'm sorry to say, I do, yes. He pointed the finger at you, Mr. Natsume. By sweet poison did he seek to end my life. That wicked caitiff, Soseki Natsume. No! I'm so afraid you'll be appearing in court as planned. You'll be wanted to make the necessary preparations. And so, once again, Soseki-san found himself having to take the dock on the Old Bailey. Whether his room was haunted or whether he was just terribly unlucky, I knew I had no choice. The following day, I would represent him in court, and do my utmost to break the curse that blinded him. To be continued. Of course it's to be continued. What time is it? Okay, we still got time. Yes, I will save. Stretching right now. But yeah, Zombie, how you been? I hope you had a wonderful Monday. My Monday's been okay. Okay, the Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. I bet it does. It seemed to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat at all times. Well, I didn't think I'll be back here so soon. That's my line. Good morning. Ah, good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here. Yes, we somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. Okay. Yeah, we could definitely do that, Zombie. No worries. I can't wait to see. Makes you roll your eyes. This should be good. Let me take a drink real quick. I can't wait to see. We somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this! Another morning, another murder! And here I am again in this hellhole. Can't keep coming to court! I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh? Mr. Natsume, good morning. Yes, morning. So, here we are again. Yes, again. What's the bad news? Oh dear, you heard, did you? If you come in shouting at the top of your voices, people can't help hearing what you say. Oh, I'm sorry. You done nothing wrong, Mr. Sato. Now, what is it? Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Barak von Zeeks. Van Zeeks? Oh, no! The so-called Reaper of the Bailey. The most legendary prosecutor in the land. In the trial 2 days ago, he pursued Sosoki-san and I relentlessly. Of course, by the skin of our teeth. We managed to pull through, but still. Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter after all. Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says, nothing could save a person in the dock when Lord Van Zeeks in the prosecution. Oh no. that even if that person is found out guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end one way or another. And we experienced it firsthand. A man we successfully defended met the most terrifying end after his acquittal, right here in the Old Bailey. Do I have to put up with those ice-cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits and now by the Reaper? Peril, petrifying perils, potentially! Well, if it isn't potentially, at least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume. Yes? I'm innocent! You have to believe me! You, more than anyone now! Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in the battle, I promise. And this promise is to be a hard battle, I fear. Well, the trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom. Let's go. Oh yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid he won't be able to make it. Mr. Sholmes, I mean. That's probably for the best. Oh? If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. And that would be a weakness. If Lord Van Zeeks were to notice, he'll prey on it mercilessly. At least that's my gut feeling. Mr. Naruhodo. You're right. It would be funny if I get gifted a Kenji 3D printed statue or Cervantes one. I like the Kenji one for sure. That would be cool though. That would be cool. Well said. Well said. I swear on the sword on my side, and on the spirit of Kazuma that it harbors, I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer could do. I'll set you free with honor. Ah, yes. Alright, it's time for court. I'm just stretching. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels of the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. I'm gonna suck your blood, sorry. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my learned Nipponese friend. Sounds like I'm saying Nipponese. Anyways, Nipponese is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. It's not just in my imagination, it's really there. Lord Van Zeeks has such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. It was such some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now, he's back in the courtroom. Though for some reason, only when I'm defending. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Still, this isn't the time to ponder about that. I have to concentrate on Soseki-san's trial. Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty? Absolutely. I have a feeling this larrikin wasn't innocent before. I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit tight. Oh well, I rather like how you're wearing your hat. I think the ruthless look is very fetching actually. I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick. I couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bob tonight, or the missus will go through the roof. May the Lord show us the light here, and lead his flock to the righteous verdict. The British jury system is so different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of judgment is in the hands of 6 members in the public, and that judge can only pass sentence with all jurors in the agreement about the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London chosen at random, or at least that's the idea. Yeah, they're like the 6 mini bosses before you fight the boss. I like how that shit just scrolled through. I love it. I love it. Oh, by the way, I need to charge my controller. The prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. Very well, let us commence the trial. Lord Van Zeeks, your opening statement please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt about your past choice. However, the innocent verdict afforded to the eccentric Nipponese before has consequences. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Instead, he was using his freedom to perpetrate a blood-curdling crime, namely that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls his first witness to the stand. The detective responsible for investigating the scene, and the accused himself. Witnesses, your names and occupations, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard's Homicide Divisions. Sasuke Natsume from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume. Yes, my lord, sir. I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's definitely a vampire. That you swore an oath never to set a foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as it was yesterday. That's because it was yesterday. The day before, in fact, my lord. But close enough. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case of the court. Right, you are, sir. The incident occurred at the Garadib household, where the defendant has his lodgings. In the ground floor of the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, the defendant has already admitted to visiting his victim on the night in question. Mr. Shakespeare collapsed in his room as a result by poisoning. He was found the following morning when the landlord suspected something was wrong and broke down the door. This means, I presume, that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time. Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making an entry to or exit from the room impossible. Although the victim, Mr. Shakespeare, lives to tell the tale, he very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when he first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. And I have a photo of what took place to show it. Yes, a chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. That's right. Everyone presented believed that as well. Very well. I shall accept this photo as evidence. Okay, so we have that in on our court records. Now then, Mr. Natsume. Yes. As the defendant, do you have anything to say at the juncture? Oh my gosh. Don't give them that choice. They're haunted. Haunted by evil spirits. Good gracious. Oh my gosh, this wig flipped. Was haunted. My lodges. There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lounges. The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one in the streets outside. My neighbors was poisoned. And me, what about me? I've nearly been killed countless times. Killed? Mr. Natsume, how? Even on the fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shakespeare's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out. And someone tried to kill me. You must always extinguish all fires before retiring the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold! My runny nose will freeze! My point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you, witnesses. I believe I have a clear picture of events. If I will raise one more point, my lord, one more. Conclusive point. Conclusive? Go on. Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Shakespeare, has regained consciousness after his ordeal, and he has named the true culprit. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in the cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. I'm drinking some water. Tea, my lord, that was brought into the victim's room of the accused. I like how his wig flips. Odor! Odor! Yes, that's the crux of the whole case. If Soki-san is innocent, then why? Why was the victim accused him? Well, Mr. Natsume, what do you have to say about this accusation? That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shakespeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bottle water especially to make it. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never! The public pump was frozen, you say. That's not information we heard before. That will do. Thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine the witnesses. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for a formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objections, excuse me. None whatsoever, my lord. Good. Then you will give your account of events on the night in question to the court now. Yes. Yes, my lord. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor. I took some tea with me as a gift. We have a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink. After I went back to my room at around 11. My tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? Take some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest left. The argument still stands. And that's the testimony? I see. It all seems relatively straightforward. Excuse me, but that testimony doesn't raise one rather crucial point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims that his tea was harmless. The teacups have been examined for traces of poison, haven't they? Why didn't I think of that? Well, as it happens, no. We haven't been able to. Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? They failed to examine the suspect's substance? How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should do? My learned Nipponese. It sounds like I'm saying nipple. Whatever. I'm just gonna say nipple. My learned nipple's friends is falsely incensed. The inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea. Not that it was overlooked. Unable? Why? I'm gonna look up how you pronounce it. It's simple enough. There was none left, not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist, funny enough. The lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question. I see, thank you. The matter is clear. Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What? You can see in their faces, I'm sure, the recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. And mere moments from now, you will lose. Compatriot will be damned of all eternity. He's right. I could feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. But I can't let them beat me down. I won't. Counsels of the defense, proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. It's around 9 o'clock. Oh yeah, I read this already. I like the music in this game. It's different from the regular Ace Attorney, but it's pretty good. I want to press this question. How long does it take for symptoms to appear then? According to the coroners, I was speaking at the yard about 30 minutes after the poison consumed. Then the victim suffered violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness, and eventually dies from anxiety. So there's a 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. There seems to be lots of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure. Oh dear, death by poisoning again. It's always so awful. Yeah, we've been coming across a lot of poison. 30 minutes is a long time. Long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left. You can't deny that. And it further degrades Sasoki's alibi. I have the medical reports from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. It spells it out really. This accused is the only person who would have done it. Very well, the court will add this to... Okay, so we have it in our court records. Alright. Oh yes, I see it here. Delay on symptoms. Great. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the doors after his guest left. The argument still stands. That's the extent of their testimony. I want to look at something real quick. What does it say? Cause of coma, ingestion of a small quantity of strychnine, whatever. Toxic effects presents 30 minutes after ingestions. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no samples could be obtained for testing. The poisoning incident occurs around 1:30 a.m. Access from the victim's pocket watch that appears to have broken with the man collapsed after the delay. No container for the poison was found in the scene. If I could voice a personal opinion, Mr. Naruto, of course, go ahead. Mr. Natsume is arguing about his innocence so adamantly and so persistently. Yet Inspector Gretchen just brushes what he says aside. It's really quite infuriating. I agree. So what we need to find is an inconsistency in what the inspector is saying, I think. I'm afraid so. As things stand, the jurors are sure to find Mr. Natsume guilty. As I see it, what we need to do is focus on the poison in the tea. Let's listen carefully to this testimony again. Okay. Yes. It was around 9 o'clock the evening. Took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated... I went back to my room around 11. It was 9 and 11... Hold on. Objection! I don't think I... You say it was 11 p.m. when you left to return to your room, correct? Yes! And Inspector Gretchen, can we really rely on information in the medical report unconditionally? Of course we can. There's no problem with the report, Sunshine. Actually, I think there is a very big problem. Because there's a chronological inconsistency between it in the defendant's testimony. A chrono what? What are you on about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, left the victim's room at 11. Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. In other words, if there was poison in that tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? And what the fuck? Why did both of them? I can understand the inspector, but why did Natsume react? Anyways, the defense argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Van Zeke? Oh yeah, that's how he's gonna respond. Let me go drink my wine. Blood. What a diva! What the fuck? What a fucking diva! Pray forgive the discordancy if my mind was wandered. I was considering what cuisine would be best to complement the contents of my hollow chalice this luncheon. How could it have happened, you ask? Yeah, he's great. I do hate to shatter illusions, but you know what? I want to look up how you pronounce that. I'm gonna look up how you pronounce that word. I want to look up how you pronounce it, because this is gonna bother me. I don't want to say nipple. I'm gonna put it on Google Translate. I wanna make sure I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah, he does. He definitely has that vampire look, especially the fact he's drinking like quote unquote wine. He's definitely a vampire. Pronounce. Nipponese. I think that's what he's saying. Nipponese. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Nipponese. Nipponese. Sorry, no, he's saying Nipponese. Nipponese. But it sounds like you're saying nipple knees, like your knees and nipples.
Nipponese.
Nipponese. I'm gonna try it one more time.
Nipponese.
Nipponese. Okay. Nipponese. I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friends appears to be chasing a phantom idea. A phantom? It is so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea. I was gonna say he drank his Nipponese. His tea after the accused has left. For example, at the time stated in the medical report, yes, at around 1:30.
Objection!
Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there is a well-known saying, drink tea while it's hot.
Objection!
And in my country, there's even more apt saying. There is nothing more refreshing than cold tea. The point is, if there was such a long gap, there may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned. Other possibilities. What kind of possibilities, Counsel? Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor. Another visitor? That's a very bold assertion, my learned friend, from someone who has nothing to sustain. Oh, the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition. You suggest that this may have been a suicide, Counsel? I like how he has the old English fonts when he says objection. So everyone has their unique fonts on it. That's pretty cool. Mr. Shakespeare has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted. See what I mean? But he could be lying. Is something wrong, Lauren Van Zeek? I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray, forgive the discourtesy. Carriage? What carriage? It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived. Oh? Out! Out! Brief candle, lights but a walking shadow. Oh, it's William. A poor player that struts and frets his hours upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury. Fury, excuse me. Why did I say furry? Okay. Signifying nothing. Who, sir, are you? William Shakespeare, my lord. Alas, to us, I, undone by those bitter events, I am the victim. What? What's he doing here? The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed. You're calling him as a witness? Very well, counsel. I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself. Happy I am, Shakespeare, to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell, my own tale of worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English, or English. That will do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim. Oh boy. Okay, so that's Mr. Shakespeare. But who's that other man besides? Oh yeah, that's the guy we saw peeping out the window. Yes, I think I feel sure that we caught a glimpse of... Yeah, exactly. State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses. A writer of words so sweet, they do scent the breeze. An inventor of ideas so profound, they compose the earth. The unrivaled poet, the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare, were the great bard to be recalled to life anew. Lo, what a magnificent man! Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shakespeare. Oh, the name's Meterman. Adrian B. Meterman. Oh, he's definitely part of this. The fact that he's part of the gas shit? Oh, yeah, he's definitely part of this shit. Okay. Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briars Road. Yeah, he was outside. That says a lot right there. Okay. I'm gonna skip this flashback. Yeah, he ran away once we found him. Okay. Yes, we spotted him outside of Mr. Garadib's house this morning. And he's a gas company employee? What does he have to do with this case? You are the victim of this affair, correct? Oh heavens, oh hell, do you command me to remember? The sweet poison that didn't cross me and crossed mine's innocent lips. I subpoena him for the trial. With this doctor's permissions, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt for the juror's mind, I'm sure. Behold, you have only to rearrange the letters of my name to see that is me, a seraph, an angel indeed. Oh yeah. He's pretty handsome. You like him, zombie? That's pretty cool. He definitely did you notice? They do it for people who don't sub. I noticed it when I'm on I forgot whose stream. I think I noticed it when I'm on Yokaze's stream. On the bottom you'll see like ads on it. Yeah, I have noticed that. It's been like that for months though. Alright, I'm sorry that you saw the ads, but yeah, they usually pop up when on people's streams that's not sub. Thus be I noble of mind, sweet of nature, I verily, honest of hearts, as all heavenly angels be. Because there isn't a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all. The juror seems to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid. Oh my gosh, look at the personality. They actually taken the Seraph anagram idea seriously. Yeah, that started like a few months ago. Like I said, I noticed it in a few of my friends, like, they will have the ads on the bottom, and then, like, after you watch a while, it'll go away or something like that. I guess this makes sense why streamers want people to probably. It's whatever. Thank you, witnesses, for your illuminating introductions. But my lord, what's the man next to Shakespeare doing here? The gas man, I mean. What, me? Well, now. Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier appurtenance. Now I have... Hey, what's up, Green? How are you, dude? When you suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question, and moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin stroker is here to controvert your wild claims conclusively. $5. Oh my gosh. Is that not so, Mr. Meter Man? Hang on, no. I'm just here. Wow, a vampire! Oh my gosh. I guess he's the Miles Edgeworth of this game, because he definitely has the wordings of how he says his testimonies, his opening statements. Sorry, not testimonies. Streamer needs food and pay bills. Oh my god, Zombie, you're not helping. I hereby call for your formal testimony. Anyways, Green, happy Monday, dude. I hope you're doing well. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question. One may smile and be a villain. Yes, it does pain me, but let the truth be spoken. The truth of wintry nights of my discontent. My chin. My Bruce Campbell chin. Okay, the wintry night of my discontent. The snow laid upon. My neighbor did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But merry, bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table. Twas the tea did pass my lips that late hour. None else. You want to punch Shakespeare's face? I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye for his room. No one else visited his room but that short little round back eastern fella. Well, damn. Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shakespeare's room at all night? It's a very punchable. I believe you. That's right. Of course, the block's broken window is all blocked up, isn't it? But there's a little gap in the bricks where you could see in the room. Right, that's where we saw the soaps. So I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered in through that. The question is, sir, why? Well, now, that's because he's on my list, my shit list. What a piece of work is a man. Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment? What are you talking about? This buzzing busybody hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed, make no more ado with his tedious words. What you say about me? What the fuck? Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more. Indeed, that is so. And as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there was no one other than the accused present at the time who have carried out the crime. Oh, they're gathering notes. They're exchanging information. Oh gosh, this is not good. Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the... Damn, that was quick. Stares at Van. Now, counsel, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. All right. Oh boy. Let's go do the cross-examining. I'm gonna press him here. Hold it!
Hold it!
To be clear, by neighbor, are you referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume? Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldn't I would call the man from upstairs. And at what time did the mustache Nipponese visit you in that room? Our meeting was promised for an hour of 9, and lo did he come to tender a gift of fragrant tea. Details which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes? And we were broiled in such a literary debate as history hath not seen before. By which I presume he means their discussion about who was stronger, Romeo or Juliet. I, Shakespeare, did play the part of young Romeo, while my neighbor played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as would... Oh my gosh, were they making out? What the fuck? Each of us dressed as our would-have character be, to bring weight upon our merry experiment, quote-unquote merry. They might as well just say gay. But anyways, I did not imagine the scene. Frailty, thy name is woman. Can't thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I was heard of the Eastern art of Jujutsu, but never did I dream I would be a skill practiced by the comely maiden. Julia beat Romeo up? This is not helping our case. I believe the court was heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you would reiterate, perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. My liege, I am thy servant, Gladdy. I will do thy bidding. Oh boy, I felt like I just asked for too much information there. Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. What is this? What is he doing? If the defendant had really pulled the poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're gonna have to explain. Gladly, 'tis an easy task. What? I did drink of the tea, but not while the guest didn't tarry. But after he took leave of me, faint 'twas stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight. Verily were my lips parched.
Objection!
That doesn't sound normal. Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire, after all. Thou wouldn't recall fiery debate. Amidst such arguments, there'll be no time for fiery tea. Romeo and Juliet again, and who was stronger? You want to drop kick? Mr. Shakespeare, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker? But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stooped lover of words that attempt to shuffle me of this mortal coil. We all know what that means.
Hold it!
So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal? Dinner, supper? Ha! Fie on luxury, fie on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry? That means he didn't eat 3 meals. I would that my belly were full. No more of the sun doth rise. Well, most heroic eating habits, I must say. Night and day do I fill my hours with learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence is that there doth not in my chambers be the costumes of my art. Yeah, I can see why Green wants to drop kick him. That will appear to the case, as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room. Now that I think about it, it's not just the food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single play or script anywhere. For I have devoured them all. You eaten them? Every word be my within skull. This does imagine otherwise. Right, that wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed through the victim's lip is in the tea. Yeah, this guy's very sketchy. Hold it, sir. But the windows of that house have been filled in. A historic artifact of the now defunct Windows tax. Yeah, you're right there, all bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brick wall of the bottom corners that's been opened up. I was looking in through the gap. Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there? And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap. Like, yes, that is true. I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, I don't know. But, especially on freezing cold nights. But them's my orders. So that's what I'll keep doing, as long as there's breath in my body. What the fuck was that? What? Yeah, exactly. What was that? What was that? That chin could destroy doors. What's with all the theatricals today? Out of interest, Mr. Meter Man. After the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room after all? No, he never left. He was in the room the whole time as far as I'm concerned. And we could come, therefore, discount the possibility of suicide. How can you be sure of that? The police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacles for the poison. And since we know that the victim didn't leave his room, and hence didn't dispose of the poison container himself, it's clear that there was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have been removed by the receptacles. Ah, yes. Very explained, counsel. Thank you. It really was. You can't argue with that logic. Don't compliment him. No one else visited his... I read this.
Hold it!
You say a short little round back eastern fella, so you must be sure that was the defendant. Objection! How many other short little round... Well, that's racist! Well, no, he has a mustache. No, that's not racist. Never mind. I take that back. So how many other short little round back nipple knees with a mustache do you think are there in London? No, yeah, valid point. That is a valid point. The only ones I know is Professor Mikotoba and Natsume. So yeah, there's not many. There's not many at all. Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap and it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up around 9, so I'm pretty sure myself. And why did the person you saw arrive? And did he and Mr. Shakespeare drink tea together? Nah, sorry, I couldn't say. Why not? Because I couldn't see into the room all that well, could I? But what I did see was the silhouette of that little round back fellow wearing a pretty dress. Oh my gosh, thanks for the details, buddy. That was the pair of them starting some kind of wrestling match. I tell you, I didn't know what to make of it. Yeah, that's my face right now. I suppose that was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway? Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question? No question, Gasman's honor. That was weird. Oh, wait, what was that? Oh! 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 My lord! Goodness me! Yes, Mr. Foreman. I kept my mouth shut and listened up to now, but this has gone long enough. Are you all with me? Yes! Oh my god! Are we to understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another? That you reach an anonymous decision? Too right we have. And all with me. Yes. Wait, no! The defense is in the middle. Yeah, exactly. We're still cross-examining. To be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. But especially after you identified these few hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room. Yes, the 3 missing hours as you put it. But in the end, what difference do they make? None, as far as I could see. And since that's apparent, there's really no reason to delay our choice any longer. Like I was saying before, if I don't take 5 Bob home with me tonight, the missus will blow her top. What's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. My gosh. Very well, let the court be apprised by your choice. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings to the defendant's cooperate. Well, shit! Well, shit!
Guilty.
Oh, dang!
Guilty.
Oh!
Guilty.
Oof!
Guilty.
Well, dang.
Guilty.
Guilty? Well, that was very animated. All of you? Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed anonymous. I don't know about that. It's more like animated. So, this time at least, it seems justice will be done. All wills that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. To the guilty being punished. Is he allowed to drink wine? I mean, Godot fucking drinks coffee in court, so why? What difference does it make? I gotta clip that. Get up, Mr. Naruto, please. The trial isn't over yet. What do you mean, Miss Susato? What about the information I found in this encyclopedia of British law I have? That obscure right that belongs to the defense in these situations. Remember? A summation examination. Yes, that's right. I don't know, but this fucking mini boss is right here. We don't have a jury in Japanese court, of course. But here in the British Court of Law, if we could reverse the choice of the majority of the jurors, we can force the trial to continue. I love how the old man's like, what you said? What? What? Anyways, this trial can't end now. Wait, I just noticed something about his costume. He has like a little mascot on his shoulder. That's cute. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke its right to summation and examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend and that inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling desperately to some anarchic rules you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth. Because they all know that once the jury mind is set, it cannot be altered. Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. The defense counsel request is granted. The court will proceed with a summation examination as outlined in the encyclopedia. Thank you, my lord. Are you and your fellows prepared for Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we know all about this young lad's tendency. And we're ready for it. Jeez, what's up his ass? Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused. Oh boy. I guess I should save first. Let me make sure I save. I don't want to fuck this up. Alright. The victim may not be well off, but he's a noble man and straightened up. There's no reason to doubt that man. I don't know about that. Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid. Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoop at all wows, and he has a mustache. Very fishy. You know, all jokes aside, I always make this reference. You can never trust a guy with a mustache, but if he has a beard, I could trust that guy. Anyways, sorry about that. There's no evidence to suggest that the gangling actor is a fraudsman, but that now at least... I really don't care. Like, I just needed this trial to end quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know? Nothing at all. I knew it. Every single one of them are completely convinced. It will seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shakespeare is a fine, upstanding, honest citizen. I don't know about that. He's something, alright. If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements. And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all. Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I pleaded with the jury on Sosoki's behalf before and it worked, so you never know. Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how a summation examination works, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh? Well, you're still new to British law after all. That is true, I suppose, and Sosoki's fate is entirely in my hands now. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial details. I didn't press X, but whatever. I wonder, I'm gonna put no need. No need, I got this. I hope. Thank you for the kind offer, but I got this. I think it's important that we don't delay the start. Yeah, exactly. Let's get to this. Of course, I understand, and I'm quite sure you're right. If you're confused by anything at any point, you could turn to me for advice, whether you like. I'll be here for you. Thanks. The key to this is really listening carefully to each juror's statement. I mean, I already heard them. finding two that are contradictory and pitting the corresponding jurors against each other. Oh, so make them fight. Just make them fight. Got it. Without further ado, please, counsel, please continue with the summation examination. Okay. Yes, my lord. Make them fight. Hold it!
Hold it!
Well, there are plenty of people in London who seems noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars? I have no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example. Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar. Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's slip that night was Japanese mantis. When you take the gasman's testimony into account as well, the truth can't be any clearer. Well, that's alarmingly logical. But let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's value. If it turns out that the old Shakespeare chum is a rotten liar after all, I'll gladly change my choice after the defendant. About the defendant, excuse me. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the jury will do the same. Isn't that right? Oh, what was that? Yes, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening. What's that? I can't hear. Oh my god. Look, I really don't care about this nonsense. I just need this trial to be over. This guy speaks the truth. He sounds like me when I go to jury duty. How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury? Yeah, he has like a mouse on his shoulder. Alright, sir. I may hold you on to that. Don't forget what you said. Alright, if you could show me that the victim is a liar, I'll reconsider my position. Alright, I'll note that. That's just racist. There's no evidence to suggest that the gang is a fraudsman. Hold it right there!
Hold it!
A fraudsman? What do you mean by that, madam? It really is the most tiresome problem for the company. Most irritating. We could be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence. We can't even threaten to take actions for fear of being sued, excuse me. I'm sorry, you lost me a little there. Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont. I'm owner of the Altamont Gas Company. Good gracious! Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. And I'm sure our employees from the East End branch office would be the first to agree. Absolutely! Gotta be used properly. Sure. I think we may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr. Naruto. Right, he bowed in indifference to his employee wife, did he? So would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shakespeare was up to in his room, I'm afraid that there's no end to the length of populations of the East End will go in order to steal our gas. So I really have no choice what the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman. But to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night, we're very thorough in our investigations. So you mean Mr. Shakespeare is... I wouldn't come out and say it in public, but you could finish the sentence with a grubby little gapsty. Oh! You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you? Oh, wait. The eye of a man have not heard, the ears of a man have not seen. Fate would then woo me within thy word. were I to let them penetrate the skin. But seraph hear not insult, only choirs of angels in song. We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around until they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights. Oh man, is that a threat? So Mr. Shakespeare has been stealing... So Mr. Shakespeare has been stealing gas. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement. My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoy? A little about the violence, but if it's not too much trouble. Yes, of course. This could be it. This could shift the balance. I'm thinking. Should I press more? Yeah, this guy. Oh, yeah, this is...
Objection!
These two statements clearly contradict each other. Or should I put... Maybe it should have been the other way around. Well, whatever. To whose statement do you refer to, counsel? I think it should have been the other way. Juror number 1. What are you yelling about, lad? I presume you heard juror number 4's statement made by the wife of the owner. Well, yes. The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact turns out to be a common thief. By the way, I love the animation here. It looks so beautiful. I gotta look at this shit. So the good lady says there's no evidence in this there. You and I both heard them as much. Sure. It's true, we don't have evidence as such. Just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know. What? You heard me. Seeing as his operation has already been compromised, I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch over there. I'll do whatever you say, my lady. Gasman's honor. Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shakespeare was a liar, you assure me, Big Chin, hey, it's Bruce Campbell, that you would reconsider your choice about the defendant's guilt. Yes, I did say that. And as a man of honor, I hold to it. And I'm sure that other gentlemen of the jury will. Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we found out the man is a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the man. Oh, so he's a sheep. Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've been saying. So this means you'll recap a few points that would suit me down to the ground. This guy's like, man, I just want to get out of here. I'm not holding any part of this. I want this trial to be over. Exactly, he just wants to get out of here. In that case, I shall change my leaning. So, Mr. William Shakespeare, if that is your real name, we, the jury, demands to know exactly what kind of man you really are. Well, look at this shit! I love it. That's 4 jurors, 4 for not guilty. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Naruto. Victory! Yatta! Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now, only 2 jurors say guilty, while 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord and order the trial to continue. What a diva. Bro, what was that for? You spoilt the bouquet, Mr. Shakespeare. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are unable to trust you, the victim. What is he doing the see no evil, hear no evil shit? But you gods will give us some thoughts to make us man. So God mend me, I do swear. This gasman speaketh that which concerns him the most, not but gas, but just thin air. What of a man with a pathetic power secrets? Yes. Fucking Castlevania, yeah. What is a man? A burneth bright a while, but it has no substance, and it does reek foul. Oi! What did you say? Do I take it, Mr. Shakespeare, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery? Most heartily, my lord. Hast not thou forgot? I am a Sephiroth, an angel, noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily, honest of heart. Ugh, you flowery mouth, pompous beanpole, just cause I haven't got any evidence yet. I love how they're fighting each other now. Mr. Shakespeare, if in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, and honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in the courtroom. Okay, Green, no worries. It is my considered opinion that all the present time, no other possible culprits of the crime has been identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates that the defendant, in short, would not be reasonable at the stage for me to rule this case. Oh no. However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of the witness, I believe that it will be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further. Oh man. Objection! I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. Juror number 4. Yes? Didn't you say before that, although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him? That's right, we do. Don't we? Right, worker? Absolutely. Oh, he gave out her name, Lady Quimby. Very well then, we will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, has been stealing gas. Yes, my lord, it will be my pleasure. If I may, my lord. Go ahead, madam. This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in the supervisory role, if you don't mind. Wahoo! Oh yeah! Sweet as honey! Yeah! What the fuck? Very well. As in the session, I shall honor your request. Thank you, my lord. You wait till the boss give you an earful. Ooh, I'm gonna sting. It's gonna sting, you mark my words. My gosh. So, you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the gas. Yes. Is that clear, my good man? Clear as my gas, my lady. Which is the clearest of the world. Alright, so do you think the gas has gone to his head? Probably. It probably has. Alright. I think the man is just a very dedicated employee. Yeah, you could definitely say that. Are we doing it across the... Yeah, we're doing it. Okay. Okay, let's go. I'm proud to be the company's branch investigator and meter money collection agent. The meter accepts trumpery bits, each coin's giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. And yet, the meter in Mr. Shakespeare's room didn't have any coins in it. We actually did see that. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with though, and the collection agent has the only key. Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny, and that's thieving. What is? If that's not thieving, then what is? Alright. Pray, forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn my hollow challenge. What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zeek? Did the mustachio nipple needs poison, the gaggling excuse of an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should be concerned this court. And yet now we must listen to this. Abhorrence. Clearly what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance. But this could turn out to be a crucial testimony. Let's go with the cross-examination. Why is he throwing bottles? What the fuck? Do what you will. Lord Van Zeek appears to be in a violent mood. Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incident of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true what they appear completely unrelated at first glance. But I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual place. And the first step is uncovering it. Will be to establish just who and what this man really is. Okay, we have to expose him. Alright. We read this already. I'm pretty sure we read all this already. Yeah. I'm just gonna press everything. So does that mean that you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? That I do. Have to try to catch these people where they're in. Then I ask permissions to come inside and do my business. Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsume's room before, as well as Mr. Shakespeare? Well, now, interesting you should bring that up, cause I couldn't believe how little money was in their meter. I mean, how the pair of them survived this winter is beyond me, it really is. Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all his gas money on books. And then when he finishes reading them, he probably burns them for warmth. That sounds about right. You would kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Meterman. Not much to say really, but as you wish. Okay. Yeah, I read this one already.
Hold it!
So, if all London houses has been gas supply or fitted with these gas meters, are they? They're the latest models, the height of technology, developed by our company. And anyone who uses our gas will have these meters in their property, yes? So, a 3 pence coin gives 2 hours of gas. Most people would use about 3 coins in the night. A bit more than that usually. They both have gas lights in the gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Sasaki-san doesn't have a fireplace in his room, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only has gas for heating. Ah yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually. And how does this money in the meter get back to you at the gas company? Every 3 days, gasmen will be visiting properties on the gas supply and empty the meters. I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meters cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part. Because they have to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. Okay. And yet the meter didn't have a single coin. I guess we just press on this.
Hold it!
Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks. He's been pinching gas off of us for ages. And you examined the meter in Mr. Shakespeare's room, I take it. Naturally, we took it all the wall and went over it a fine-tooth comb. And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume. No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock, the Shakespeare Special. That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3-penny pieces. But even after all that, the rascal's meter is still empty. I'll never forget the humiliation. When I opened up the money box and found it bare, you what? I said, you what? And the look of his face, the smarty smile on his... Huh. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of being at Jemmy open anywhere. Not a single sign. And what's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day. That's what. A life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter? Nothing became of it. I still got it. Oh? I was gonna say that. Oh? Right here. No wonder they call you Meter Man. I think it would be prudent for the court to... Okay. So we have this as in the court record. Good, 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 good. I think I should examine it. Definitely. Although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say it has much value as the content of that meter. I want to look at it though. I don't see how. Wait, what's this? Oh, what's? Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruto? Just here, there's a little hole. Do you see it? Goodness, you're right. I would have never noticed it. It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I say. So you think it might have been opened by Mr. Shakespeare? Possibly. It seems the people at the gas must have missed it. Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through the inside. Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through there. That's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious. Okay, it's been updated. That is very, very sus right there. Now my question is, do I press it on something? Anyways, let's get back. I read that already. Oof. I guess we could show. Does it have to be tampered? I don't know. I found a contradiction already with that. Objection! Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of tampering. What? Get away! I've been over and over that thing. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. In that case, what do you have to say about this small hole that's been made up at the base? Hole? What? You're right. You're quite right. There's a little hole there. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do. In other words, we could assume that Mr. Shakespeare has secretly been opening this hole himself. Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised, but why? Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farther through that. I agree. Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design. What sort of details? Well, what if I specifically like to know is, how's it? Let's go with the coins. How does this meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were putting a penny coin, that wouldn't work, right? No, of course not. So, well, how does this meter know that the coin has been fed? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A bit is about 3/4 of an inch in the diameter. If you see, other coins just won't fit. Oh, I see. It's clearly been through that. The witness will amend their formal testimony with that information. Okay, so they have something else added to their testimony. Alright, so the meter is designed for coins. I want to look at my court record real quick. Victim medical. I want to look at something. I don't know what to do with that. Oh, wait! Wait. This. I want to know what's this. Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on this side and about 2 centimeters across. So has he been about 3 or... Do you think? That's probably how he's doing it. We did find the soap at the scene, didn't we? Yes, there were 2 bars on the little ledge on the outside of the window. So we took this one. But I'm sure that we first found it. There was some sort of red medallion. Yes, yeah, I do remember that. Yes, but there was no sign of it now. Where could it have been? Where is it now? I'm I have to look at everything now. Is he use? I don't know. Is he using this shit? No, he's not. No. How is he doing that? Hey, Luna. This is the teacup from which Mr. Natsume was drinking. Yes, unlike the other one, the inside of the cup is completely clean. I suppose he has drunk the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark. I'll always gulp it down too. Sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, if you just sip a little by little, it gets cold. Clearly, I shall have to instruct you in the proper way to take tea. I'm thinking. I don't think it has nothing to do with that, so whatever. Maybe I'm thinking. I'm not sure if this is right, but let me see. Because now we definitely we confirmed this. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Let's try this.
Objection.
Just let me confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter will accept any object as it were. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in his room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as the bit? What was it? The item in question is this. What? What have you been inhaling gas? That's a bar of soap. It looks nothing like a bit, I must say. It looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. Yeah. What's so important about the soap in this part here? I mean, we confirmed it. this right here. It should be this right here. It has to be this. It has to. It has to be that.
Got it!
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Ah. Are you referring to the round? Yes, exactly. That's right. A depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as the bit. Get away! Does anyone here have their possession in the bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it? Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have a bit. Now to see if it fits. Yeah, perfect match. My word. It couldn't be more snug. Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamount Gas Company is being defrauded. Well, I don't believe it. Stop throwing your wine! Your assertion amounts of what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the death of gas. Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a bit. I must concur at least that pushing a coin with some force into poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the gas shape. A coin shape, excuse me. And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mound. You could make fake coins in no time. That brings all the pieces of the puzzles together. It's the method Mr. Chancellor has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I could follow the chain of thought, it's gonna bring me to the new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. But this is nonsense! If the man has been making fake coins, my workers would have found them when he emptied the meter. Quite true, Lady Altamont. In the absence of some black magic, that could just make them disappear. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There is one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear in thin air. Yes. Exactly. And the meter here gives it away. What on earth? Oh shit. Here are remnants of the magical methods used invisible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. If that is your assertion, counsel, the defense will identify these remnants for the court at once. Where on the meter can the remnants of the... I have to think. Oh, wait, no. Is it this? Hold on. Is it... I'm not sure, but I think it's this, but I want to make sure. Can we zoom in? I really think it's this. Or here. I'm gonna go with this one. Maybe here. I'm guessing that's there. It has to be there. We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found this soap. I get it! That's right, the answer, of course, is ice. Did you say ice? Mr. Shakespeare has been leaving soaps like that outside of his window each evening filled with water. After a night Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. After a night outside of the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid in the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving them light and warp into spades. As his room becomes more warm, the ice now inside the meter coin melts, turning back into water and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made it in the other side of the meter. That's genius. That is how, without leaving any evidence of this wrongdoing, this man has been stealing out to mount gas. That's pretty genius. Just like that, so simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? Yes! He's been fooling us all with bars of soap and water. That's right, madam. I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water could render it totally useless. I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence. Sorry? I want evidence. If you're gonna stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I need to see. I mean, we pretty much did. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Alright. What do we have to do? Very well, lady out to mount. If you like evidence, I'll provide it. What? Let me see. What do I have? I still want to know what's this, though. But, oh, I see it! That's genius! That's fucking genius. I see it now. The water, like, that's smart as fuck. Can you... Wait, no, I can't do nothing there. Okay, but that's really genius. Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do have evidence to support this theory? I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little bit at the time. And I have a feeling that this theory will come up with now I could explain it. The piece of evidence... Okay, I read this already. No, it's that. It's definitely that. That gave it away. Take that!
Take that!
This is a photo of the scene of the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows that the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shakespeare. What remnants? There it is. Here you can see the gas meter on the wall. Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. What is that? Some kind of grubby stain? Almost certainly it's water stains resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole that made it into the meter. You got your proof now. If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage, and the occupant was heating his room into the waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the coin meter would have been dripping out constantly, leaving it staying on the floor. This is awful. And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shakespeare slumped over his table, apparently having consumed his strychnine. And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. You're right! It would appear to me then, counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not. He didn't beat around the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shakespeare was found with a fork in his hand. A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely. Did you mean to say he was using that fork to Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap. But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well. Good gracious. Stop throwing bottles! Lord Van Seeks. I was throwing my hand up in despair. Oh, he's doing an objection. And happened to catch my hollow bottle on the way. Pray, forgive my maladroit mistake. What is the meaning of this, counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly do you establish with your most recent cross-examination? Well, I think he's trying. Okay, this is what I think he's doing. I think he tried to fake his death to get out of paying the gas company, but at the same time, no, because even if that happened, guess what? He was found alive, so it doesn't even matter. And he has like a foolproof plan to I don't know, that Mr. William Shakespeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. That's it. That's exactly it. Very well. Let us assume that the man is a liar. Now allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? Well, we know that suicide could be discounted. Oh, well, no, you could use it because he's lying and he faked his death. That's it. That's definitely right there. Anyways, no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there was no visitor to the room except the accused. The young gasman testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shakespeare is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively... I don't know how many bottles he's going to do. These facts has been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls the immediate adjudications. Oh my gosh, I can't read. You what? What? I'm probably gonna stop this after I finish this episode. How does the defense respond? I guess, can we object? Mr. Naruhodo. What was the point of that last cross? Well, to point... No, I said the same thing. It's just to prove that he's a liar and a thief. Or did it make no difference? Yeah, let's do an objection. No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What? But counsel, you successfully explained everything. You identify and sustain the scrumptious methods employed by Mr. Shakespeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss? Lord Van Seek just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. But contrary to what he would have in court to believe, not all has been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption, made due to a lack of evidence. But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witness to take the stand. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. Oh, we're doing this shit? Oh shit, I see my health bar up there. There's a question that we need to reconsider, namely. Okay. Was there another visitor? Was there poison in the tea? Because they never really confirmed that. Let's go with that. We all been led to believe that there's been poison that has afflicted Mr. Shakespeare. Was there a tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume? But that conjecture at best. Oh, okay. The victim has testified that there's been nothing past his lips that night. There's no other possibility. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it could be tested for traces of poison.
Objection!
As I said, the situation has changed. Because in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it. Oh! The soap. Okay. A ludicrous claim. The detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? The defense made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence is the scene? It has to be this. Take that! I hope I got that right. Good gracious! The soap again? The same bar the victim used to fashion his coin of ice? Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's more bars of soap. Soap. What are bars of soap doing lined up on the ledge outside the window? I'm quite certain that we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap. There was actually a frozen coin in each bar. Yeah, and I think there was one that was red. So you discovered the gas thief coin factory fascinating. Unless the red one was the poison one. In a way, yes. But there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time were normal ice. Yeah, there was a red one, I think. There was something strange about them, you mean? Exactly. Something very obviously strange. They were red. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. The ice was red? No, you mean... That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from the frozen tea. I would remind the court as a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial. The evening... Oh yeah, right. Take freshly brewed teas when we first... as a gift. The public water pump... Oh, right! Right! The pump was frozen. Ah, yes, I believe there has been a snowball that day. It was very cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the east ends are prone to freezing. So on the night in question, Mr. Shakespeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins. My word! So he never drank... Okay, that makes a lot of sense. There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. That's right, and I didn't know it was I didn't know it was the tea. And that makes a lot of sense. And we only borrowed one of them. Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime. Frozen solid in the bar of soap, outside Mr. Shakespeare's window. Extraordinary. Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even one drop of tea remains, Scotland Yard will be able to analyze it for poison. I need to get some water after this. Anyways, as such, we are now in position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjectures. By finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contained the poison. Ugh, you smug nipple knees. My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recovering the remaining bars of soap from the scene at once. At the defense request, a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Alright, okay. Get the police to the scene of the crime. It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objections, Lord Van Zeeks. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the test immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. Yes, my lord. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow. To be continued. I'm not gonna continue now. I'll continue this Wednesday. This shit tired me the fuck out. Yes, I will save. I'm gonna go back to the main menu. I'm not gonna continue. I'm gonna stop here. Oh gosh. That was very exhausting. Return to title. Don't save because I already saved. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I want to change their costumes back to their defaults. Oh, I should do that when I stream again. Nah, it doesn't matter. Let me see if anyone's streaming. That was fun though. I want to get down to the end of this case. I have to charge my phone as well. Anyways. Who is streaming? Who is streaming? I'll see Yaki streaming. I could just raid her. Alright guys, I'm gonna go stop right here. The next time I'll be streaming will most likely be Wednesday. I'm off that day. Zombie for the watch party. Just give me a good time. We could work something out for tonight if you want. But yeah, I'll go raid Yaki. And yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday for sure.